I spend a lot of my time walking. Long trails, long days, long journeys measured in miles, blisters, and time alone with my thoughts. But this adventure was different. This isn't a hiking video, but this is a journey and adventure video. Last fall, my sisters and I gave our mom a hot air balloon ride for her birthday. And instead of being the one lifted into the air, I stayed on the ground. I followed the balloon by car, watching it drift across the sky, not knowing exactly where it would land, only trusting that eventually it would. So this is how it starts. Not with liftoff, not with some dramatic movie moment, but with a gravel driveway in somebody's front yard near Battle Creek, Michigan. And a whole lot of nervous excitement. As we pulled in just before sunrise, you could already feel it, that quiet buzz in the air. Everyone pretending to be super calm, but also definitely wondering what they just signed up for.
Really big balloon and one person's not enough to keep it on the ground. We're tied to the truck.
And then the magic started. At first, it just looks like a giant pile of fabric spread out across the field. It's hard to imagine that in a few minutes, this massive thing is going to lift people into the sky. When they started filling it with air, it slowly comes to life. It's almost like watching something breathe for the first time. Birthday girl. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Oops, sorry, Melissa. Thank you. Sharon, how are you feeling about your adventure today?
Excited, nervous. I just think it's awesome.
And when the burners fire up, that deep whoosh sound, you feel it in your chest. Warm air rushing upward. The balloon rising inch by inch. Quietly powerful. I love moments like this, where something that looked like an ordinary piece of fabric a few minutes ago slowly becomes strong enough to stand on its own and transport you through the skies. It doesn't rush, it doesn't force it, it just fills steadily until it's ready. And I think that's how a lot of growth works too. You don't wake up one day suddenly ready for big things, like hikes or through hikes. You prepare quietly. You show up, you do the small steps, you let the process do its work. And then one day you realize you've been strengthened more than you thought, and you are ready. And then suddenly, it's time. No more watching from the sidelines. No more standing around taking pictures. Now, they're the ones getting in. I always think this part feels slightly awkward. Climbing into a basket that's about to float into the sky isn't something you do every day. They give you instructions, where to stand, what to hold on to, how to brace for landing, and you realize, okay, this is actually happening. Everyone's smiling, a little nervous, a little excited. You can feel that shared energy, like we're all in on the same adventure now. And then the burners fire again. That deep whoosh above your head, warm air rushing up. The balloon pulls tight. The basket shifts just slightly.
Taking the one that's almost over half empty.
And you don't even realize the exact second that it happens. There's no dramatic jump, no sudden drop. You're not on the ground anymore. It's so gentle it almost surprises you. 1 second you're looking at grass, the next second the grass is getting farther away. And it's quiet. Trust. There was something strangely familiar about that feeling. Waiting, watching, letting go of control. When the balloon finally lifted off, everything slowed down. There was no rushing, no steering, no forcing the direction. From the ground, all I could do was follow. Eyes on the sky, checking roads, adjusting pace, and staying present. All right, so we've gotten them off in the air. Melissa and I are off to follow them on the ground. We are the ground crew. We're going to be following his ground crew right there. Now, as the driver, I'm not allowed to look up at the balloon, so that's a bummer, but Melissa is going to be taking video and photos, so I'll insert those. When you're hiking long trails, you learn quickly how little control you actually have over situations. Weather falls apart or changes. Plans are interrupted. Miles don't always go as expected. Watching the balloon that day felt similar, just in a quieter way. I didn't know where the balloon would land. I didn't know how long it would take. And I couldn't rush the outcome. All I could do was stay attentive, trust the process. That's not so different from hiking or from real life. This journey wasn't about achievement. It wasn't about endurance. And it wasn't even about pushing through. It was about being present. It was about watching my mom experience something joyful and a little scary. It was about being there when she came back down to earth. It was about showing up, not as the one doing the hard thing, but as the one waiting at the end. Those moments matter just as much as the miles we walk ourselves. I talk a lot about long walks and hiking and what those walks teach us. But sometimes the lesson isn't the walking. Sometimes it's in the waiting, the watching, the trusting, the understanding that not every meaningful journey looks the same. Some journeys take you across mountains, some take you straight up into the sky, and some keep you grounded, following along, simply making sure you're there when someone lands. I just want to take a minute and say thank you to my mom. Mom, you may not always realize it, but the steady support you've given me over the years has meant more than I can put into words. You've supported my hiking, my riding, my big ideas, my big miles. You've even taken care of my cat. And even the seasons when I was still trying to figure myself out, you were there. You've never tried to clip my wings, even when what I wanted to do probably felt a little wild and scary for you. And the thing about your love is, it has its own style. It's not loud, It's not flashy. It's consistent. It shows up. It's practical, and it's faithful. It's in the way you check in, the way you ask questions, the way you quietly make sure I'm okay. It's in the way you've always let me be me. I know I don't say this enough, but I see it. I see the strength in you. I see the sacrifices you've made. I see the prayers you've probably prayed when I was out on trail somewhere or just in my life.
Lovely.
And I just wanted you to know I'm grateful, truly grateful for who you are, for how you love, and for the example you've set. I wouldn't be the woman I am or chasing the mountains I chase without the foundation you gave me. I love you. Thank you for being you. And happy birthday, Mom.
Okay, so
Take your head up.
our post-flight toast actually originated. Most people think the Wright brothers invented aviation, but it's actually the Montgolfier brothers in 1783. Somewhere in 1783, they had this idea: if you make a fire, smoke rises. So I thought if they could capture that smoke, the smoke would lift them up into the sky. So that's somewhere they built a balloon from their materials from their father's paper factory near Paris. And on September 19th, 1783, they suspended it from two poles and made a fire. They put wet hay and old other stuff on the fire to make a lot of smoke. And when they cut that balloon loose, off went our first passengers, which were a sheep, a duck, and a rooster. There was an experiment to try and figure out, could you even survive up there, right? They had no idea if you could breathe up in the sky. Nobody had ever been there before. Those three animals all survived when they crashed about 3.5 kilometers away, except the duck ends up with a broken wing because the sheep stepped on it. It's a true story. All right, that was September 19th. King Louis XVI then asked the Montgolfier brothers to prepare for the first human flight. They built another balloon and they planned this royal event on November 21st, 1783. It was held in Versailles, France, and the Montgolfier brothers set their balloon up, filled it full of smoke, again from their smoke fire. And when they cut it loose this time, off went our first two aeronauts, which were not the Montgolfier brothers. It was Pilot de Rosier and Delandres, two French noblemen. They were our first aeronauts. They went about 5 kilometers before they crashed, and they survived, and they continued to experiment with these smoke balloons in the late 1700s. They ran into another interesting problem when they got in the countryside. Of course, the peasants and the farmers had never seen anything in the sky before, right? They crashed in a field such as this, probably more of a crop field. Now, if you can imagine, these guys wanted to make their flights longer. So after they filled it full of smoke, they figured, well, if we put a wire grate in the middle of this annular gondola and we have an open fire in the basket, take a bunch of wet hay, we can make our flight longer. So now when they crashed, they got fired, they got smoke, right? Because there's smoke going in, there's smoke coming out. And this colorful thing's humped over in the field. And our peasants and our farmers think it's what? And they crashed in their farm field. And what do you do when there's a dragon? You slay the dragon, right? So they weren't very friendly. So our ingenious Frenchman said, let's start carrying champagne with us to offer as a peace offering to the farmer when we crash in his field.
I love it.
Put a smile on the face.
That's right. All right. So now, in the spirit of those good old days when every flight ended with a crash and the really good flights, everyone survived, I'm going to ask you all to take a knee if you're able. And so well that God has joined in your laughter and set you gently in the loving arms of Mother Earth. Here's another important part. Whose glass you got?
Joe's.
He's going to need it. Now what you have to do is just lean forward a little bit like this. Yeah, all of you.
Missed one on the end here, Phil.
Oh, I'll get there. I'm doing ladies first.
Oh, that's you, Brock.
All right. It's very important to be christened with your champagne for your first balloon ride. It's a one-time deal.
Thank you. So we don't get champagne.
And you all can stand up whenever you want. You get champagne every time. You don't get christened every time.
That's fair. Just that time.
There's no alcohol.
Oh, okay, then a whole bunch.
This day reminded me that movement doesn't always mean progress, and stillness doesn't mean absence. There are many ways to walk alongside someone, and many ways to be part of a journey. Sometimes the most important thing you can do is stay close, keep watching, and be there at the end. Thank you for being here, and thanks for walking or watching alongside me.